Hello there, and welcome to today's edition of the 14-day eCourse. My name's Leslie Huntley, and today I'm going to take you through creating your own video with totally free software that you probably have on your computer right now. The software's called Windows Movie Maker. It's not the most feature-packed software in the world, but hey, it's free, so you can't complain. This is the very software I used to create the introductory video that you saw when you first signed up to Tube Toolkit, to introduce you to everything this course has to offer. So what we're going to do now today is take you through everything I did to create the introductory video from scratch. In another lesson, we went through creating the soundtrack to the video and collecting the images required. In another previous lesson, I introduced you to screen capture software, where we filmed the parts of the video to introduce software and the various websites I mentioned. We also listened to the audio and gathered the screenshots we needed. You should have this all handy, all in the same folder, and organised in the order they appear in your video, just like we talked about. First of all, you'll need to see if you actually have Windows Movie Maker installed on your computer. So go click on My Computer, open your program files, and scroll down until you see Movie Maker. If you don't have Movie Maker in your program files, you can download it completely free from microsoft.com/windows-xp/downloads/updates/moviemaker2.mspx. Just install and you're away. Now you're sure you have it? Start up Windows Movie Maker and let's have a look around. As you can see, Windows Movie Maker is divided up into three different sections: your task pane, your stage, and your timeline. Your task pane is where you will find everything required to create your video. Your stage is where you'll preview your video, and your timeline is where you will do all the actual editing of your images, music, and footage. So let's begin. First of all, you can go up to File, New Project. Next, we need to import all of your images, footage, and soundtrack into collections, so you can start to create your movie. Head up to File and Import into Collections. This is where it really helps if you have all your images and footage organised into the same folder, in the order that they appear in your video. This saves you having to move everything around to where it needs to be before you can start editing. So now everything's uploaded and you can begin to create your video. I always start with the soundtrack, as this is what I use as a guideline to creating the video. So now I'll just go ahead and drop the soundtrack directly onto the audio section of the timeline. You now have the basis of where everything should go that you can now match up to all the other pieces of your video puzzle. My video begins with the cloud scene that I downloaded from iStockPhoto.com. This cost me $10, and it was the most expensive aspect of this whole movie. I've named this piece of footage Introduction. If I want to ensure it's the correct piece of footage, I can either click on the thumbnail in the Collections pane, or I can double click to watch. So now what I'll do is take this piece of footage and drop it straight into the video section of the timeline, like so. This video is a loop, meaning I can drop as many segments on the timeline as I need for the amount of time required for the introduction. In this case, it's 3. Next, I added some text as opening credits to introduce the video. I did this by clicking on Make Titles or Credits in the task pane. I chose Add a Title on the selected clip on the timeline and typed in Welcome to the Tube Toolkit ... Next, click on Change the Title Animation and you can scroll through all the different text effects within the Title Animation toolbar. You can also change the text font and colour by clicking on this link underneath. When you are done, click Add Title to Movie. Now you can press play and see how this looks over your footage. If you're happy with that, you can move on to creating the rest of your video. From the drop-down menu at the top, choose the Collections, as this is where your images will have been dropped when you imported them. Because they are all nicely in order, you can grab them all by clicking in the window, right-click, select all, drag and drop onto the timeline. Now you have all your images dropped in and ready to go. It's time to put in their professional looking effects just like they do in post-production at the movies. To see what effects Movie Maker has to offer, click on View Video Effects in your task pane. The Video Effects window will come up. Click on any of the effects once to preview what this will do to your images on the timeline. Once you've decided, you can then right-click on the image or footage you wish to add the effect to and choose Video Effects. I like my images to ease in, so I add this to my displayed effects and click OK. I also like my images to fade in and fade out, so I select these as well. I like my images to alternate easing in and easing out, so I go ahead and add this to every image on the timeline. My movie begins with footage that I captured of my actual website with screen capture software. This software is also completely free and is open source, so will always be. We learned about this software earlier on in the course. So what I do is go on up to Collections and drop down to the Tube Toolkit collection. I gave this footage this meaningful name so that I knew this was the footage of the website. Windows Movie Maker will automatically break up big files into small and manageable chunks of footage, which makes them easier to deal with. Go ahead and select all and drop the whole lot on the timeline where you need them. As it turns out, the first piece of footage is useless to me, so I select it with a left click, right click on it and delete. My footage then starts exactly where I want it to. I right click on the first piece of footage and select Fade In Only because I want it to run seamlessly for the next couple of clips. On the longer clip I will choose Ease In the video effects to match with the rest of the movie. Now it's simply a matter of dragging the edge of the images and footage to match the narration. Press play and listen to the narration, pause where it changes subject, take note of the time, and pull the edge out until the subject changes to the next slide. Your professional looking effects will change to accommodate the new length on their own. So now your masterpiece is almost complete. I didn't add credits to the end of my movie because I wanted it to have the effect of it being just the beginning of what was in store. You can quite easily do this, however, by clicking on Make Titles and Credits, and you can even make scrolling credits to end your movie. You can put these titles anywhere within your movie by selecting Place After Selected Clip on the timeline. Now your movie's finished, you can save the original file in the same folder as everything included in your movie. Next, head up to File, Save Movie File, and make your choice for what you wish to do with the movie. I tend to save my movies at quite high resolution, so I'll choose My Computer, click Next, give my movie a name, and choose where I wish it to save. I save my movies at High Quality Video Large, as this gives me a decent enough resolution when I upload it to YouTube and it is viewed in high quality. Movie Maker will go ahead and save your movie in the format you choose. This could take some time depending on the size of your movie. So there you have it, everything you need to know to create professional movies at home with all free software. So take care and I'll see you in tomorrow's lesson.